Now, just days later, Beckham revealed in an Instagram comment that he was fined for wearing colorful cleats during the Giants game on Sunday. Beckham said his cleats were in honor of the late Craig Sager, and they will be auctioned off for charity to benefit cancer research. OBJ tweeting this. $18K without a single warning. But the world would never know. They act like it's no big deal. No respect for the message, in my opinion. Now, the NFL allowed players to wear tribute cleats for a charity in Week 13, but not during the past week of games. Max, I want to start with you here. Do you have any issue with this fine on OBJ?
Yeah, I wish the NFL wouldn't. I understand the idea that they have contracts with companies, and this undermines that when people wear, breast cancer awareness, whatever, or even Craig Sager cleats. But Odell has a bigger point here, I think. I was critical of him when he made the comment about Dak Prescott, given the fact that the Salvation Army does good work. And if someone's bringing attention to that, I didn't think Odell should make it about himself. And Odell, to his credit, tweeted out later that day or the next day, like sometimes I don't time my comments well or something like that. He is actually self-aware. But, when you're a young man that gets that much attention and that much criticism, it must feel, I imagine, how many of us are in that position, that you're victimized, that the world is coming at you fast. And your responses will be suboptimal at times. This puts his comment at the time into context. He feels that, look, I did a good thing. I honored a great person, and I'm raising money for a good cause, and yet I am fined for it. So really what he's saying is he's not against the Salvation Army. He's against the idea that more can't be done. But the timing of his comment, and without this knowledge, it made it seem as though he was being narcissistic and tone deaf.
But that's what he is being, Max. Look, the NFL isn't the big bad guy in this equation. If you don't like the rule, fine. If you don't think the players should be restricted in what they wear, even when it raises money for charity, fine. But the rule exists, and Odell Beckham knew it existed. He's a victim because he makes himself a victim. This is a guy who can jaw at the refs, get in a fight with Xavier Rhodes, get in a fight with Josh Norman, do all these things, and then say, they come down on me if I tie my shoes wrong. He always sees himself at the center of the story. Charles Barkley recently said this about DeMarcus Cousins. He said, it's always about DeMarcus. It's the same thing with Odell. It's always about you. You can't see the action, Odell. You can't see the difference. You can't see what you did. You knew it's against the rules. You knew it.
But he knew it.
And he did it anyway.
So take it from his point of view. He didn't come out and say, look, I had these cleats at first. He said, look, the Salvation Army thing. I thought that this was against the rules. And then everyone says, oh, why are you bringing attention to that? Why are you making it about yourself? Salvation Army is a good cause. Now here you are saying everyone knows the rules, but sometimes they can be bent. And that was his point.
Nobody's hands are completely clean in this. And I agree that the NFL, if you're going to intermittently enforce your rules, you're going to make everybody question them.
That was his point.
No, that's the point, though. He shouldn't be making a point. He should be doing what he knows is right, not breaking the rules to make a point.
He didn't. He didn't bring up his cleats at first. But he simply brought up that is an inconsistent enforcement of the rules. He was then criticized for that, and now he is offering new information. That's why this was on my mind.
Gentlemen, calm down.
I get a little emotional when I talk about the Giants.
Hold on, I just want calm down, said Stephen A.
I just want y'all to calm down.
Take a breath.
I just take a breath, be cool.
Who are you and what have you done with Stephen A. Smith?
Be cool, let's get it together, okay? Here's the deal. Will's right.
Oh my gosh.
Rules are rules. And the fact of the matter is, Odell Beckham Jr. knew those rules. Now, we knew they were exercised intermittently because that's what the NFL does. Odell was aware of that beforehand. He's aware of that now. And he still feels this, so compelled to constantly speak. And the more he speaks, he's jeopardizing himself the way Max Kellerman so eloquently said that he's jeopardizing himself weeks ago. Max Kellerman sat here and said he should be quiet, because you're bringing unwanted attention to yourself, and you're ultimately going to attract the ire of the league and officials and beyond, and he has to be mindful of that. Why? Because it is what it is. Fair, as my boy Jeff in California says, fair is a place where they judge pigs. It doesn't exist, okay? You got to put on your big boy pants and deal with that. However, having said all of that, let's be also mindful of this. The NFL is going to have to be more consistent. And I think they're going to have to heighten their level of sensitivity because, again, let's think about this. Where does that money go? I mean, NFL gives to charities, but I think some of this fine money they get, I mean, that's feeding the charities themselves. It wouldn't shock me if we learned that that's the reality. You taking money from guys disguised as fines and everything like that, and you're donating that money to charity
I'd love it if
directly.
that's the case.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what about directly out of your pocket as a league, your money? Okay, you should be doing that too. Not to say that they're not, but I'm mindful of all of these things. But in the end, Will is right. Big boy rules apply.
I want to
here.
address that.
You got to understand what the rules are.
I was totally consistent
it.
about this. I was critical of him when I felt he was bringing unnecessary attention upon himself and not optimizing his potential. As a result, he was hampering himself. I was critical of him yesterday or the day before when this story broke about the Salvation Army and his criticism of the league and the inconsistent enforcement of their rules. I was critical. Odell, that's a bad look, etc. This is now the story. More information has come out. And he brings this up about his own fine. This actually illuminates the previous tweet and makes it look a little better. I'm not being asked to comment on the previous two instances, which I did at the time and was consistently saying, Odell, get a grip here, like realize what's going on. We're asked to comment about this,
yeah, but Max,
where I have to admit he's making a good point about the inconsistent enforcement of rules.
One thing I do have to say, I think there's a better way he could have handled it. We saw what Cam did. We criticized Cam often. He honored Craig Sager. We saw him in his walkout outfit. He had the crazy hat. We clowned him for it in the post-game press conference. But I do believe that if Odell Beckham had jumped in that red Salvation Army kettle, he would have been fined for it. I do believe there is a double standard. I'm not saying
saying
he needs to go out and say it, but I do truly believe there's a double standard there.
That's why I'm sitting here saying, Odell, shh, you're right. There may be a double standard.
You're feeding his victimhood mentality by saying that. That's the reason the NFL.
Not paranoid if they're really out to get you, Will.
The reason the NFL forgave that fine is because it's bad PR to fine for jumping in the Salvation Army bucket. It's not who did it.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to avoid.
You can say it's bad PR for honoring Craig Sager too.
But here's the thing. So Max, I hate to do be too trite or make childhood lessons here, but two wrongs do not make a right. And the fact that the NFL didn't enforce. So you'd be the guy in Greece that doesn't pay taxes because nobody else does. You'd be the guy in Italy that says, I don't need to pay taxes, nobody else does.
Well, no, that's one example. I can give you others.
There y'all go venturing beyond.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is this.
Not paying taxes. That guy's not paying.
Calm down.
Just relax.
It's okay, Max.
Cool.
Woosah.
Will's the one guy in Greece paying taxes, apparently.
Stephen A., let's change the subject here. You've got final take today. What's on your mind?
On my mind today is Mr. George Karl and coaches who feel the need to talk about players. I'll leave it at that until the end of the show.
You gonna be calm?
Absolutely. I'm ultra cool, baby.
Yeah.
I give new meaning to cool. Did you not know?
You do give new meaning.
You about to say about my shirt. I know you looked at it.
He did give new compliments. He said multiple times you were right today. This is
so many
a
times.
win.
Can we pull that? Let's get that clip. Will is right. Just pull that. Run that on loop.
We have to remember, I said it before I spoke.
Oh.
Had you followed me up, you probably wouldn't know what the hell you're talking about.
Details.
But because you went first.
Thank you so much.
All right, Merry Christmas to all three of you.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
You're watching First Take, presented by Bass Pro Shops.
Wilson, quick throw. And it's good. Intercepted. Intercepted to Malcolm Butler. Butler has it at the one. Malcolm Butler stepping in front of a throw.
It's got to be one of the dumbest calls offensively in Super Bowl history.
Such a good game, such a bad call. We all remember that questionable play call in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and with a similar call in this past Thursday Seahawks-Rams game, Richard Sherman not too happy about it, complaining on the sideline and in his post-game press conference yesterday. Russell Wilson was asked about Sherman's criticism and the Super Bowl play. Take a listen.
I hope we get to the 1 yard line again, and I throw it again too. If it was the right call, at the right timing, So I have all the confidence in the world in that. I have all the confidence in the world in the players that we have. There's no reservations in my mind, no hesitation at all. And like I said, we're committed to doing whatever it takes to win and finding ways.
Oh, Max, what do you make of Sierra's husband saying this?
Russell Wilson.
I do like that introduction.
Russell Wilson is a great player in his prime. He's exactly who you want as the quarterback of your team. He's become underrated. He has got to be a coach's dream. I mean, he's never going to throw his coaches under the bus. He's never going to throw teammates under the bus. There are times where you're asked a question point blank. In this case, one of the stars of the defense has criticized the coaching staff. What do you do as the quarterback? He diffuses it. He says the thing that he believes, he calculates will be the least disruptive for the team. This is exactly right. This is why you got to love the guy. Oh, he's just a game manager, a mobile game manager who's big on third down, a Super Bowl champion. That's exactly who you want. And then a guy who does this, who you never have to worry about causing a problem in this way. Now, all that said, in fact, the pack leader of the Seattle Seahawks is Pete Carroll. I mean, it's actually the coach in this case. But even so, and maybe that suits Russell Wilson's personality, but even so, this guy is just excellent in so many ways, and this is another example of it.
He is excellent. He is about team first. Russell Wilson is a winner and a good guy. But I'll be damned if I want to hear him say that he'd do it again. That's idiotic. That's just stupid. I'm sorry. He's not stupid, but that's a stupid damn statement. And by the way, I'm not just calling Russell Wilson out on this. I'm calling Donovan McNabb out. I'm calling any of our NFL aficionados, the experts that we have at this network, who I respect and listen to and revere to some degree.
I thought you were so brilliant because you knew what you didn't know.
Listen.
What happened to the
But I also know what I do know. But I also know what I do know. I also know what I do know. That doesn't mean I have to agree with them 100% of the time. This is a democracy, Max Kellerman. Don't you look at me like that. Look. I will be calm because I saw you just now. Let me tell you something, man. I don't want to hear that. Look, you throw that catch to Curse, the acrobatic catch is bumbling all over the place. Beast mode, before that, you hit him down the left sideline. He scampers down the field to put you in position to win the Super Bowl. Then this dude from the 5-yard line runs 4.5 yards on first down. You got second down at the half-yard line with beast mode in the backfield.
But they don't have beast mode anymore.
Listen to me. I'm talking about that play, Mollywood. That play. Okay. That play in that Super Bowl. Marshawn Lynch, beast mode behind you. And you got, listen. The man said he would do it again. Did he not say he would do it again?
That shows confidence in his team and in himself,
stop it.
Stephen A.
You two,
There's
stop
no
it.
beef
You
with
two,
it. He's
right
showing
now.
that.
You think he's on a lie detector test?
Listen, right now, both of y'all getting to me. Y'all get to me right now. I'll admit it. Y'all get to me. I'm not going to take this from y'all. You're going to tell me that
Beast mode's not there. He's saying I could get it done this time.
Mama's watching, so I'm not gonna let me calm my phone. Now you different. My mother, I got to watch my tone when I'm talking to you, Mollywood. But you know your football. I'm not gonna let you get away with this.
Don't
act like it's okay.
Back your way out of the corner.
Excuse me, may I speak? I don't act like it's okay, Mollywood, to be at the half-yard line with beast mode.
It's not.
This is what we're talking about.
Hold on. Time out.
Did he not say he would do it again? Did he not say he would do it again?
Time out. Was that a good idea to not run Marshawn Lynch in and win the Super Bowl? No, it was a bad idea.
We're
on the same page.
What about throwing it over the middle?
Does Russell Wilson...
Donovan and his Arizona living self sitting there talking about how it was the right play.
That's why you want Russell Wilson. You want Russell Wilson on that fence. You need him on that fence. On that wall, or was it a fence? I forgot.
It was a wall. It was a wall, damn it. Look at you.
The point is,
it was a wall.
You need him there. Whatever the hell it was, you need him there. You want him there, you need him there. Because he knows the question...
Sprinkle it on you. Sprinkle it on you. You got to be crazy. What?
He knows the question is not about what would actually happen. It's a trap set
so now you're thinking
by
for
the
him.
media.
Now you're thinking for him.
To see if he will fall into it.
Now you're thinking for him.
And because he is a great quarterback of a great franchise, he won't fall into the trap.
So in other words, he can't sit back and go like this. Damn. We might have should have ran the football in that situation. We wouldn't let that happen again. He can't do that. That's too much. Oh, that's showing weakness.
He supports the coaching staff. He's not going to throw anyone under the bus.
Is Russell Wilson a politician near you? Is he running for office and he didn't tell us about it?
Yes, you know what office he's running for? Super Bowl champion. That's the office.
Excuse me. That ain't going to stop him.
And he's already a one-term...
That doesn't prevent him from telling the truth. That's why Richard Sherman got in their face, because he's tired of hearing that nonsense.
Yeah, but Richard Sherman's not the quarterback. Russell Wilson is. That comes with additional responsibility.
He can handle it if it happened again.
Pete Carroll is a great coach. Pete Carroll is a good man. Pete Carroll made one of the worst calls in Super Bowl history.
I agree.
That was atrocious.
I agree. Run in Marshawn Lynch. By the way, Russell Wilson agrees too. He just ain't going to tell you that and throw anyone under the bus.
Take a breath. Relax. Calm down. We got more to get to.